The North, a land of harsh beauty and unyielding people, had always been fiercely independent. Ruled for centuries by the Starks from their ancestral home of Winterfell, the North prided itself on its honor and loyalty. But the War of the Five Kings, sparked by the death of King Robert Baratheon, had thrown the North into chaos. The Starks, once a symbol of unity, were scattered and broken. The Battle of the Bastards, fought in the shadow of Winterfell, marked a pivotal moment in the North's struggle for survival. It was more than just a battle for land or power. It was a clash of ideologies, a fight between good and evil, between hope and despair. The fate of the North and perhaps even the Seven Kingdoms hung in the balance. The conflict was deeply personal, a culmination of years of betrayal, bloodshed, and simmering resentment. On one side stood Jon Snow, the bastard son of Eddard Stark, who had risen to become Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Jon, though marked by his illegitimate birth, inherited his father's unwavering sense of honor and justice. He saw the suffering inflicted upon his people and felt a deep responsibility to liberate them from tyranny. On the other side stood Ramsay Bolton, the sadistic bastard son of Roose Bolton, a man known for his cunning and ruthlessness. Ramsay had seized control of Winterfell through treachery and bloodshed, holding Jon's younger brother Rickon hostage as a pawn in his twisted game. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of the North, a battle that would pit brother against brother, Stark against Bolton, good against evil. The outcome of this battle would have far-reaching consequences, shaping the destiny of Westeros as a whole. The Boltons, an ancient house with a sinister reputation, had long coveted Winterfell. Their sigil, a flayed man, reflected their brutal history and served as a chilling reminder of their ambition. Roose Bolton, the head of the house, was a master manipulator, always lurking in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. When King Robb Stark called his banners to avenge his father's death, Roose Bolton pledged his allegiance to the young wolf. Robb, trusting in the oaths of fealty sworn to his family, placed his faith in Bolton, unaware of the treacherous plot brewing beneath the surface. The Red Wedding, a massacre orchestrated by the Lannisters and Freys, shattered the North's hopes. Robb Stark, his pregnant wife and his mother Catelyn were brutally murdered, betraying the sacred laws of hospitality and guest right. Roose Bolton, the architect of this betrayal, plunged a dagger into Robb's heart, a symbolic act that cemented his treachery and ushered in a reign of terror. With the Starks seemingly extinguished, Roose Bolton seized control of Winterfell, claiming the North as his own. He married Walder Frey, solidifying his alliance with the Freys and further consolidating his power. However, Roose's hold on the North was tenuous at best. The Northern Lords, fiercely loyal to the Starks, resented Bolton's rule. Ramsay Bolton, Roose's legitimized bastard son, was even more ruthless and cruel than his father. He delighted in torture, murder, and psychological manipulation, instilling fear and obedience in those unfortunate enough to cross his path. Ramsay's sadistic nature knew no bounds, and his actions would soon plunge the North into further darkness. Jon Snow, having witnessed the horrors inflicted upon his family and his people, felt a profound responsibility to act. Despite his initial reluctance to become embroiled in the politics of the Seven Kingdoms, Jon recognized the threat posed by Ramsay Bolton. He knew that Ramsay's reign of terror would continue to spread unless someone stopped him. Jon's decision to confront Ramsay was not driven by a lust for power or vengeance, but by a deep sense of duty. He had learned from his father, Eddard Stark, that true leadership meant protecting the innocent, even at great personal risk. Jon understood that the fate of the North and the lives of countless innocent people rested on his shoulders. Ramsay Bolton, on the other hand, was motivated by a toxic combination of ambition, insecurity, and a sadistic thirst for power. He craved recognition and legitimacy, seeking to validate his claim to Winterfell through violence and intimidation. Ramsay saw Jon Snow as a threat, a rival claimant to the North who could potentially unite the Northern Lords against him. The battle between Jon Snow and Ramsay Bolton was not merely a clash of armies, it was a clash of ideologies. Jon represented hope, justice, and the enduring legacy of the Starks. He fought for the freedom of his people and the restoration of honor to the North. Ramsay, in stark contrast, embodied the darkest impulses of humanity: cruelty, treachery, and a complete disregard for human life. He sought only to maintain his grip on power, no matter the cost. The odds were heavily stacked against Jon Snow as he prepared to face Ramsay Bolton on the battlefield. Ramsay commanded a significantly larger force, bolstered by the reluctant support of several northern houses who had bent the knee out of fear rather than loyalty. His army was well equipped and battle-hardened, accustomed to the brutal realities of warfare. Jon, in contrast, could only muster a fraction of Ramsay's numbers. His army consisted primarily of wildlings, former enemies who had come to respect Jon's leadership, and a handful of loyal northern houses who had remained steadfast in their allegiance to the Starks. The wildlings, though fierce warriors, were undisciplined and unfamiliar with the traditional tactics of warfare in Westeros. Ramsay, a master manipulator, used psychological warfare to his advantage. He knew that Jon, driven by his emotions, could be baited into making rash decisions. Ramsay deliberately positioned Rickon Stark, Jon's younger brother, within firing range of Jon's army, forcing Jon to choose between saving his brother and maintaining his strategic advantage. Jon's advisors, recognizing the dire situation, urged caution. They knew that a direct assault against Ramsay's superior numbers would be suicidal. They proposed a defensive strategy, hoping to lure Ramsay into a trap and exploit any weaknesses in his defenses. However, Jon, blinded by his love for his brother and his desire to end Ramsay's reign of terror, allowed his emotions to cloud his judgment.